Did you know that the prophets mentioned in the Quran also have a counterpart in the Bible? Join us as we embark on a journey through time and space, exploring the stories of 10 prophets in this video, with another 10 in part 2. The very first prophet, Adam. The chosen one, crafted by the Almighty from mere clay, and granted the spark of life through his divine breath. His name echoes through the ages as a symbol of wisdom, obedience, and ultimately, the fall from grace. For in both Islam and Christianity, Adam's tale is one of caution and guidance, a story of temptation and the consequences of disobedience. In Christianity, Adam is known as the harbinger of original sin, a burden passed down through the generations. His transgressions weigh heavily on the souls of all who come after him, a constant reminder of the frailty of humanity. But in Islam, his story serves as a warning to all who would disregard the commands of the Almighty, a call to strive for purity of heart and mind. Despite the differences between the two versions of his tale, Adam's legacy endures as a symbol of the human struggle against temptation and the quest for divine approval. Let us turn our gaze to the second prophet, Idris, known also as Enoch. A figure of great wisdom and importance in both Islamic and Christian traditions, his story is one of divine favor and purpose. In Islam, Idris is revered as a prophet of the Almighty, chosen for his great knowledge and piety. A man who walked the earth before the time of Noah, he was said to have been lifted up to the heavens by God, a sign of his special connection to the divine. He taught the people many useful skills, including agriculture and writing, and was known for his ability to see the truth in all things. In Christianity, Enoch is remembered as one of the ancestors of Jesus Christ, a man who walked with God and was taken up to heaven without experiencing death. His righteousness and devotion to God set him apart, and his story has been interpreted as a foreshadowing of the resurrection of Christ. Let us turn our attention to the third prophet, the mighty Nuh Noah, who stands as a beacon of faith and obedience in both Islamic and Christian traditions. In Islam, Nuh is revered as a prophet sent by God to guide his people and to warn them of a coming flood that would wipe out all life on earth. Undaunted, he built an ark to save his family and the animals from the deluge, showing unwavering faith in God even in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Similarly, in Christianity, Noah is celebrated for his righteousness and his unwavering faith in God, as he built an ark to save his family and the animals from the flood. Despite some differences in the characterizations of Nuh, both Islamic and Christian traditions recognize his enduring legacy as a prophet and a man of great faith. Let us look at the fourth prophet, Ishmael or Ismail. He is considered a prophet in Islam, who was the first son of Abraham and Hagar. He was sent by God to establish a great nation, and to spread the message of Islam. In Christianity, Ishmael is not considered a prophet, but he is regarded as the half-brother of Isaac. While the role of Ishmael in Christianity is not as prominent as it is in Islam, the story of his birth and his relationship with his father and half-brother are mentioned in the Bible. Like in Islam, Ishmael was born to Abraham and Hagar when Sarah, Abraham's wife, was barren. According to the Bible, when Ishmael was born, there was tension between Sarah and Hagar, and Sarah asked Abraham to send Hagar and Ishmael away. However, God promised to make a great nation from Ishmael, and he was eventually blessed by God, and became the father of 12 sons. The fifth prophet, Isaac or Ishaq, is considered a prophet in Islam, who was the second son of Abraham and Sarah. He was sent by God to continue the prophetic lineage and to spread the message of monotheism. In Christianity, Isaac is also considered a prophet, who was chosen by God to continue the lineage of the Israelites. Isaac is an important figure in both Islam and Christianity, and his story shares many similarities in both religions. According to both the Bible and the Quran, Isaac was the child of a miraculous birth, as his parents were both very old and barren when he was conceived. Both religions also highlight the importance of Isaac in the lineage of prophets, as he was the father of Jacob, who was later named Israel, and from whom the 12 tribes of Israel descended. In Islam, Isaac is also seen as a prophet who preached the message of monotheism, and his story emphasizes the importance of faith and submission to God. Prepare to be awestruck as we delve into the life of the sixth prophet, the revered Jacob or Ya'qub. He is known as a messenger of God in Islam and Christianity, born as the son of Isaac and the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. His duty was to guide the Israelites towards monotheism and the divine will of God. In Islamic tradition, Jacob's unwavering faith and patience in the face of hardship is highly admired and is an essential lesson for all believers. In Christianity, Jacob is also revered as a prophet and a patriarch of the Israelites, a symbol of faith and obedience to God. Now coming to the seventh prophet Joseph or Yusuf. Joseph is considered a prophet in Islam, who was the son of Jacob and was blessed with the gift of interpreting dreams. He was sent by God to guide his people and to establish justice and righteousness. In Christianity, Joseph is also considered a prophet, who was chosen by God to protect and raise Jesus. The story of Joseph in the Quran shares many similarities with the biblical account of Joseph, who is also considered a prophet in Christianity. Both versions of the story highlight Joseph's gift of interpreting dreams, which played a key role in his rise to power and his ability to help others. Both versions also emphasize the importance of patience, perseverance, and forgiveness, as Joseph faced many trials and tribulations throughout his life, including being betrayed and sold into slavery by his brothers. In Islam, Joseph's story also emphasizes the importance of justice and righteousness, as he used his position of power to establish fairness and equity for all. In Christianity, Joseph is known for his role as the earthly father of Jesus, and his character is revered for his faith, obedience, and protection of the Christ child. The eighth prophet Job aka Ayyub is considered a prophet in Islam, who was a wealthy and righteous man who faced many trials and tribulations, including the loss of his wealth, family, and health. He was sent by God to test his faith and to inspire others to remain patient and faithful in times of hardship. In Christianity, Job is also considered a prophet, who is revered for his faith and perseverance in the face of suffering. The story of Job in Islam and Christianity shares many similarities, as both versions of the story highlight the importance of faith and trust in God during times of hardship and adversity. Both versions also emphasize the idea of suffering as a test of faith, and an opportunity for spiritual growth and development. In Islam, Job is seen as a model of patience and perseverance, as he remained steadfast in his faith even in the face of great adversity. In Christianity, Job is known for his faith and trust in God, and his story is often used to inspire others to remain faithful in the midst of suffering and tribulation. The ninth prophet David is Islam's Dawood, who is a prophet in Quran, who was a king and a musician who was blessed with the gift of prophesying. In Christianity, David is also considered a prophet and is revered as a king and a hero of the Old Testament. Both versions of the story highlight David's skill as a musician and his role as a king and leader of his people. Both versions also emphasize the importance of faith and trust in God, as David faced many challenges and obstacles throughout his life, including battles with his enemies and personal struggles with sin and temptation. In Islam, David's story also emphasizes the importance of justice and righteousness, as he used his position of power to establish fairness and equity for all. Behold, the final prophet of the day, the revered Jesus Christ, also known as Isa Nabi in Islam. Jesus, born of the Virgin Mary, was not only a prophet but also the Son of God, according to Christian beliefs. He was sent by God to guide and teach his people the message of monotheism. His miraculous deeds, such as healing the sick, feeding the hungry, and even speaking as an infant, have made him an enduring figure in both Islam and Christianity. The story of Isa highlights the importance of love, compassion, and worshipping God. His mission was to lead his people to righteousness and salvation. However, despite the similarities in their stories, there are fundamental differences between the Islamic and Christian narratives, particularly in the concept of Jesus' divinity. For Christians, Jesus is a divine figure who was crucified and resurrected, while in Islam, he is seen as a prophet who was not crucified but rather raised to the heavens. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and watch out for the second part.